Hi again. In today's live, I want to take a look into the world of goal setting. And I want to start with a story from Alice in Wonderland. Now, after Alice went down the rabbit hole, she found herself at a bit of a crossroads and in the company of the Cheshire Cat. And she was unsure about which direction to take. So, like you would do, she asked the cat which was the right road for her to take. And the cat replied, well, it depends on where you're heading. And Alice said she wasn't sure where she was heading, to which that cat again replied, clever cat, well, it doesn't matter which road you take, does it? So, question for you. How many times in life have you found yourself standing there at a crossroads, not really knowing which way to go, stuck in procrastination and delaying making decisions because you don't know which is the right path for you to take? I know which path to take is easy when you're clear about the direction you want to go. And that is why goal setting is so essential to everybody's success in every aspect of life. Setting goals gives us a starting point and a crystal clear understanding of the right paths to take when traveling the road to a destination, as well as a believable vision and a sense of knowing where you're going to end up, which begs the question, how do you set goals? So firstly, any goal needs to give you a clear direction, as I've already mentioned. So whenever you find yourself at a crossroads, and you will find yourself at a crossroads every second of every day, but because you've set goals, you'll be able to make an instant decision and move forward really quickly. Now, if you don't, I don't know if you know, but our brains are actually hardwired to respond to the goals we set. And when we set our goals, we also set filters within our brain to notice consciously things that are relevant to us achieving those goals, and also to filter out anything that's irrelevant. And you can think of these filters being a bit like Google. Now, imagine for a second if Google was the only way you experience the world. And if you typed in the word fear into the Google search engine, what you get back is lots and lots of articles about fear. And you might even think that fear was all there is in the world. Well, the same is true if you were to type the word love into the search box. All you'd know in the world would be love. And so as you went through each day, you'd be consciously aware of the examples all around you of love. And that would reinforce the filtering. And that again would then mean you would see, hear, and feel more instances of love. The thing is, your filters are always in action and they're set by you. And one way you can set those filters is by setting inspired goals. Now, for any goal to be charged or highly charged, so it puts your filters into action, there are ways of setting goals that make your chance of achievement so much easier. And in the world of goal setting, the most popular framework is to set SMART goals. SMART goals being specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-framed. However, parts of that framework just don't work for me, because who's to say what's achievable and what's realistic? Realistic and achievable. Tell Elon Musk what's realistic and achievable. Now, one of my clients had a business that was turning over around about £4 million. And over a couple of years of working together, he got that to about 6 million. That journey had taken him 5 years in total. And then he decided to start a new business. And that new business had a goal of hitting £10 million turnover in the first year. Now, based on history, that's probably not realistic or achievable, is it? But he smashed it and he hit 12 million by the end of his first year. And this year, after about a decade of trading, he's going to go through the £200 million barrier. Who's going to tell him what's achievable and what's realistic? If you think about it, if we set achievable goals, we're setting ourselves up for mediocrity. And you know what? That's a busy place. There's lots of mediocrity around in business. Now, when my client started his business, a second business, he was in a really busy marketplace. He had thousands of competitors. Now, because the level his business has risen to, he's got about a dozen competitors. The higher you climb, the less crowded the environment will be. So when you set unreasonable goals, the less competition you're going to have. So, as a suggestion, get rid of achievable and realistic and replace them with action orientated. What steps will you take to achieve the goal? And relevant. Is it relevant to you or is it someone else's goal? Is it a should goal? Should have a sports car, should have 2.3 kids, should have a big house. Now, there's nothing wrong with those goals if it turns you on. But so for some people, they are should goals. You should do this, you should do that. And that can be a real turn off. So now SMART becomes specific, measurable, action orientated, relevant, and time framed. But to me, there was still something missing from the acronym. Then a few years back, I started with a new client and I asked him to do me a list of his goals. What he actually gave me was more a list of tasks than it was goals. And truthfully, all he needed to do was to get off his backside and do the things that were on the list. And him getting up off his backside got me thinking, what's missing from the SMART acronym? And what would it take to put SMART goals onto steroids? And what I came up with was to add A for accountability. Have someone hold you accountable to the goal. R for rewarding. That could be a reward for achieving the actual goal or a set of rewards for you on your way to achieving the goal. So you're not achieved the big goal yet, but you're rewarding yourself for taking action and hitting targets towards the big goal. Then we've got S for shared. This is putting accountability on steroids by telling other people about your goal. Now, I don't know if you've ever had a Just Giving page. If you had, maybe you felt like me. And in those moments of doubt or lack of motivation, looking at the page would give me back or get me back into action because it taps into us not wanting to let people down. So having other people or telling other people about your goals gives you another level of accountability. And then E is for ecological. Does the goal fit into the wider picture? For instance, in a business, the sales department can agree to generate all the sales, but is the marketing department able to generate the leads? Can the ops department produce the goods, etc.? How does it all fit into the bigger picture? So, when goal setting, make sure your goals are specific, measurable, action-orientated, relevant, and time-framed. And then to put them onto steroids, add accountability, rewarding, shared, and ecological. I wonder if you're getting the bigger picture now. And I'm in your mind getting a picture of the new acronym. And finally, the moral of the story is if you're not achieving your goals, maybe it's time to become a smart arse. It only works, so give it a go. Take this from theory to practice to mastery because you will thank me later. Thank you for watching.